Elsteed's at home. So the last few episodes have been mostly about the microsteeds and obviously Franklin, who's fast asleep on me right now. Show the world how you can say hello already. Hello. Hello. Come on. That's it. Hello. Hello. That's it. And this episode's going to be more about what's been happening here, you know, where we live. And we thought we'd do a bit of a walk around, introducing some of the animals. Some of the YouTubers that we watch, they walk around and they introduce like the animals, and some of them have like subtitles that come up introducing those animals so they become more familiar. We realised we'd never actually done this ourselves, so we thought maybe it was time to do that. Helen's going to do that for us. We'd get Franklin to do it, but I feel like he's not quite ready for that just yet. But as you saw, if you watched the last episode, you would have seen that he went around and met everybody. So we thought it was your turn to also meet all the different animals that we've got here. Right, over me, boys.
Fraser needs 2 children.
My boys!
You just need a billet head on your bonce.
Yeah, either side of me.
Should I go and get one of them?
No, not feel free. One's down.
Jesus. Right. So we watch a YouTube channel called 10 Acre Woods. And it's a wonderful YouTube channel. And they seem like the loveliest of people on planet Earth.
Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and I'm currently standing at the scene of a murder.
And every time they do a video, they'll introduce their animals as they go around the farm. So it dawned on us that we've never actually really done that. So I'm going to introduce you to all of our animals today. I want to tell you a story all about how our quails got bored and we ended up with so many more than we expected. We hatched an oh my God,
Excellent!
we hatched an absolute ton of button quails at the very first lockdown. As wonderful as it was hatching these quails and seeing them hatch, it was one of the best experiences ever. We ended up with a lot more males than we did females. And what that then means is the females are very much loved by the males. And they end up a little bit bored. So we done what we thought was the best thing, and we looked for more female quails online. And we found a lady selling 4 female quails. So we jumped on that and we went and picked them up. This was in lockdown again, so we weren't allowed to go in, or we just met her at her front door. She gave us this box and off we went with it. We came home with it. Admittedly, on the way home, these 4 quails were making some strange noises we'd never heard before. Please don't let them jump out.
Oh. The bigger than I thought they were going to be. Look.
They look bigger than ours, Bob.
These might not be Chinese button quails.
So we ended up with 4 quails that were a hell of a lot bigger than the ones that we'd hatched.
You little plonker.
So basically our plan didn't work at all. So what we ended up doing is separating the boys and the girls. So we've got this aviary here, which has got all of our female quails. So we got our button quails here, and our cornex quails. It turns out that we didn't really need those at all, but it's nice to have them. They're beautiful, and in hindsight we maybe should have hatched out the cornex quails rather than button quails, because the cornex quails are way more friendlier. Oh, that's a lesson learned, and I'll show you where we have put the boy quails. Let me out. It's just dawned on me that I said that I wanted to introduce you all to our animals, but none of these quails have got any names. we never named them because there's so blimmin' many of them, and they all look the same. Where are the chickens? So these are our chickens. As you can see, they're a right old mess at the moment. They're shedding their feathers at the moment because it's coming up, well, it is autumn now. So as you can see, that's a lot of feathers. They basically turned their sleeping quarters into one giant feather pillow. But you obviously all know Bill and Ted. So Bill's the white one. Ted is the multicoloured beautiful one. They've lost again quite a lot of their feathers, which is a shame. And then this little girl here is Taffy. She's beautiful. Oh, see, they're so skittish. And that ghastly looking chicken, she looks a right state. But this is Speckles. Beautiful colourings, and she's just a lovely chicken in general, but she just always looks a little bit pasty around the edges, you know. And then there's Taffy again, and that little girl over there is Dot. Excuse you, sir. Who asked your opinion on things? Nobody. Again, I don't regret hatching those out, but it would have been way better if they were girls. Just saying. So we got chickens pretty much as soon as Fraser moved into this house, and over the years we've actually had quite a large flock. We had about 10 at one point. So these girls remaining are very old for bantams. Bantams usually live about 5 to 7 years. So yeah, these girls are OAPs. They're the golden girls for sure. I think Bill and Ted are helping them remain young and useful. We don't plan to get any more chickens until we move, and then we definitely will be getting a lot more. We want to get all the different breeds, like the Polish and the Frizzles and your Stilkies and all of that kind of stuff. Look at the baby. Blech. Right, so in here are our male quails. They don't have names either.
Baldy one.
Yeah, and that cornex quail there is one of the 4 girls we got, and turned out to be a boy. So he's in here with everyone else because he just got a bit too aggressive with the girls, as they do. Right, onwards. Now these are our buns. Well, 2 of our buns. This little guy here is Floki. He's named after the Viking. If any of you watched Vikings.
I will make something truly astonishing.
He's a Rex rabbit, so his fur is slightly different texture. He is a beautiful bun. I don't know if you can tell the different texture in the fur. It's more velvety. And this little girl here is Bunnyween. Bunwin. She's our eldest bunny. She's an OAP bunny now. She's mothered many a baby. We allowed her. We bought her with a male rabbit, and we allowed them to have a litter of babies, and then got him neutered, and then she had another litter of babies kind of straight after she had the first litter, so that was a surprise. But yeah, Bunwin had a lot of babies in the 2 litters that she had, and we gave some to friends and family that wanted bunnies. And then we decided to keep the boy rabbits and sell the few remaining girl rabbits we had. And this is where the indoor enclosures are for the buns. So this is Rumbles and Sookies, and that over there is Bunwin and Flokies. They're such beautiful baby buns. Yes. Hello, Rumbies. So this is Rumbles. This is Bunwin's son, one of many. And this is Sookie. We got her from Pets at Home. And they both love each other very much. Look at him.
And what's the story behind Sookie?
Sookie was the largest rabbit at Pets at Home. And obviously when you go and buy a baby bunny from the shops, you want the smallest ones, didn't you? But the fact that she was so big, we just knew nobody was going to buy her. So we took her. And we just knew they'd love each other because they're both very soft temperamented. But Rumbles, we thought Rumbles was a girl when he was born because he looks very much like his mum and he behaved very, very much like his mum. He was the first one to escape from the pen that we created for him. He was naughty.
Before we continue with the rest of the video, we felt we owed you an explanation as to what happened regarding the bunnies. So, like Helen said, we gave the female bunnies away and we kept the males. All of these males were neutered. And this was so they didn't have any urges to start fighting each other. We also got them all vaccinated, and we ended up with a colony of 6 boys who were living very happy together. And we kept Bunwin and her partner separate. And then something awful happened. One morning when I went out to feed the bunnies, I found that we'd lost 5 of them to a new virus, which the vets called VHD2. And at the time, there was no vaccine available for this, but there is now. Bunwin, Rumble and Harvey survived. So we got Floki for Bunwin, so she wasn't lonely. And then a few years later, we got Sookie because we needed to find a partner for Rumbles. And sadly, Harvey passed away from a form of cancer. And that's where we are today. Wow, that was depressing. And this was several years ago, but we thought you'd probably wonder where the bunnies went, so we wanted to just get that out there. Nobody said having pets was easy.
We come across an advertisement from an animal charity saying they needed to rehome a one-legged budgie. That had me and Fraser written all over it. It didn't work out. It was agreed we could take him, and then there was wires crossed somewhere along the line and he ended up being given to somebody else.
Pretty bird.
So that was annoying.
Yeah, can you say pretty bird?
But we still had an empty budgie palace at home that needed filling. Yeah, Franklin, yeah. We went to a garden centre one day and they had a lonesome budgie-gar for sale. We took him home and we named him Harry. We then found a private seller selling a budgie online. We went and got that budgie, and that budgie became Lloyd. And Lloyd was in a sorry state, I've got to say. He had no tail feathers. So you had Harry, who was socially awkward because he'd never interacted with other budgies before. And then you had Lloyd, who had hang-ups about his appearance. They were perfect together. Now onto our fish tank. It's a tropical pond style fish tank. It's shallow, it's got plants growing out the top and some fishes. We've got some different breeds of guppies. We've got some cories, coolie loaches and loads of shrimp.
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes.
This is Wedge. We've made an entire life story video dedicated to him. and we'll put that link at the end of this video somewhere. He usually lives outdoors, and we bring him in for the first few weeks after coming out of hibernation, which is around February, March time, where it's still very cold. And then we put him back outside when the weather warms up. But this year, because the weather has been so rubbish, he spent the majority of his time indoors trotting about the house. So he hasn't been cold enough to feel the need to go into hibernation. And we're okay with that, because if I'm honest, the months that he is in hibernation, I do nothing but worry about him anyway. He's an odd little tortoise, and he likes having his shell scratched. Take a look at this.
Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Oh, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me.
Well, this here is Murphy. He is a beautiful fat ginger cat that I bought 14 years ago from a pet shop in East London. I got him along with Fogel, our other cat that we sadly lost at the beginning of this year. Even now, and it's been many months now, I still find it very difficult to even look at pictures of him, let alone watch videos of him.
When I invited Helen to live with me about 5 years ago, Fogel and Murphy were part of the package, and I actually ended up with asthma because I'm allergic to cats. But who needs to breathe anyway when you can have fur babies? For whatever reason, we call Murphy like loads of different names. We call him Merp, Derp, Derpy, Dindle, Dindlebells, Dindis, Dindis Khan, Ginger Spice. Some of them don't even make any sense at all. I guess maybe we call him different names depending on what he's, how he's behaving or what mood we're in. And he is a bit of a clumsy wally. He loves a fuss, giving huge hugs, and is also very vocal. And first thing in the morning, when Franklin's demanding his bottle, Murphy, Dindle, Bells, Dindis will be shouting his face off at you.
So when Murphy demands to go out, we let him out into the garden whenever he wants. He can't get out of the garden. We made the garden cat-proof, so he's unable to jump the fences.
So this area down here is cat jungle, and there's all these different beams and stuff up here, like platforms and stuff, as you can see above me, in order to give them something to climb and engage with. But they can't escape the garden because it's meshed on the top. And it's trellised across there.
He's not much of a hunter. He'll bring you in a grasshopper, daddy long legs or a moth. And he has once caught a bird, but we're certain it just flew into his mouth, because he doesn't have much killer instinct in him, I've got to say. He didn't even kill the bird either. He made such a commotion about catching this bird that we were able to put a stop to it as soon as it happened, so the bird was absolutely fine.
Murphy just follows me everywhere, and he's like my familiar. He's my little ginger disciple. He's not very keen on the fact that Franklin has taken over a large portion of my love. So yeah, he's not best pleased.